Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the last day of the September month where we're going to be talking about the energies that really visit each of the sectors of a floor plan. And I want to show you how you can use your body, your space to achieve your goals, and it's through classical feng shui. Hi, my name is Kathleen Zemansky, and if you are new to me, I would like to invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit that like button and share, comment. We would love to hear what's going on in your life right now. It could be things that are going really well because you have found the opportunities in the disruption, or you could have been one of the unfortunate people who have lost everything. For that, I am sincerely sorry that that is happening to you, and I want you to know that I'm here to help in whatever small way that I can to help you get back on track. So you may not even have a space to go back to right now because of potentially some of the fires that have been happening in the West Coast, some of the flooding that has been happening on the East Coast, or whatever thing is happening in your particular geographic area that I'm not noting right now. Please let me know what is going on in certain parts of the world that I'm not familiar with that could be disrupting what's happening in your life. So really what I want to talk to you about is my business model, which really covers everything that we're going to be talking about today, which is person, space, and time. So when we look at your astrology chart, we're looking at, truthfully, what is happening in certain areas of your life. So we look at your natal chart. There's a lot that's going on my software, but for our purposes today, what we're going to be looking at is the year, month, day, and hour of birth. The reason that we look at that, and I also need to let you know that I am really looking at this from a very business perspective. Obviously, your astrology has a lot to tell you about your personal life as well, about every aspect of your life is really explicable on your astrology chart. But for our purposes, we're going to talk about how this is affecting your business and somewhat your personal life as well. Okay, so your year of birth is about your reputation, how you're showing up in the world, how you're being noticed or not. It's also about your brand, your marketing, how far and wide is the net of your marketing going. Now, I've always proposed that if you have a website, you have an international business. So how are you being found? Well, there's a lot of different ways in which you can get found on online, but you also want to keep in mind that your astrology, there's going to be certain years where you're going to really want to be big and bold, and then there's going to be other years you're going to be doing other strategies. So social media is not the only way to get your voice out into the marketplace. You could do speaking gigs, you could be teaching courses online, those kinds of things, but most likely you are going to get some traction by also having some social proof. That is your year pillar. Now, your month pillar is about your career, what you're best suited at, and your character. So it's really important also to distinguish that, yes, there are going to be certain elements that are going to say you should be doing this because, you have the fire element, so you should be in technologies, or you have the water element, so, you should be in the travel industry. Well, that's kind of the surface level of really what your astrology can indicate for you, and that would go into a personal reading. So we're just giving you just some keywords here to help you understand the significance and why you should start understanding a little bit more about your chart, because it can help you achieve your goals. That's what I'm here to help you with. Your day of birth is about you. It's really the to me, the most important pillar, because if you have good personal development, if you have a good mindset, that you really are very clear about the goals that you want to go after, and you're not pushing them or repelling them away as soon as something comes to you, that really has to do with your day of birth. It also has to do with your partnership. So this is also important of how well you relate to others. Then your hour of birth, which is very, very important because it really does signify the goals and what your life purpose is, what your legacy, what type of things are you working at, no matter your age. Like, what energy are you putting towards these goals, and are you the type that are able to achieve the goals, or do you need other people to help? Most likely, just like everyone in the world, that if you're working with people that have a higher knowledge status and expertise than you do, you're going to get to the ends of your means much faster than if you try to go it alone. Okay, so I realize some of you may not know your hour of birth because of lost birth records, and or they just weren't recorded, and no one is surviving that can tell you what your time of birth is. But don't be disheartened, because you at least know about your branding, you at least know about your character, and you at least know about your mindset. That's 75% of the 4 pillars that we will be discussing. So please, please, please don't tune out, tune in even that more. It's like, I've heard of people who do not have all of their 6 senses going. Is it the 6 senses or 5 senses? The hearing, smell, and you may, like, for example, lose the auditory. You cannot hear, but your eyes become much more strong, and your voice becomes much stronger. Your smell becomes much stronger. So even though you may not have that one pillar, let's focus on what you can get out of this information, and then don't worry so much about what you can't. That is, again, going to the mindset of you're disempowering yourself instead of empowering yourself. My tools are here to help empower you. Here's another note that I want to say right from the get-go. Do not hit save for later. Watch this now and do now. The quickest way that you can get on track is start taking action towards what you want. And most of my collateral that is out on YouTube is time sensitive. So you want to use this. Now I'm talking about the month of September in the Rooster month, which actually goes to October the 7th because of the way the Chinese calendar is set up. So you want to understand that a couple of weeks from now, what I'm telling you is no longer going to be as relevant because the energy has passed. So you want to get in on the ground floor and start using your space to your most benefit. All right, so the last thing I want to tell you about your astrology chart, if you are sheltering in place with other people, you may want to run their charts as well and go to freebusinessastrology.com. I do have that link below, as well as a link to the Rooster month. What I'd love for you to do is, once you have run your chart, what I'd like you to do is then listen to the animals that are in the year, month, day, and hour of birth of your chart and other people, because that way you're going to understand a little bit better what is happening for them. Understanding and compassion is really a first good step in having more harmonious relationships, more harmonious balance in your life and your emotions and stress. Because if you're thinking that they're doing something, or even yourself that's doing something, and you don't understand, a lot has to do with what's happening astrologically in your chart. So why don't you just find out what it is so that you can now start modifying your behavior to do the things that you want to do. Okay. Now let's talk, let's start talking about the space. And so we're going to look first at the first grid, and this is the annual flying star for the month of, this is for the whole year of the metal rat. So we are talking about the East sector. This is the last sector that we're going to be talking about today. So we've already covered in all of the preceding videos. I've taken one at a time. We're going to talk about it today and then just do a little quick recap. You can go hear the details about the other areas. So the first thing I want you to know is the East sector is located with the 5 this year. So the 5 is considered misfortune, and one of the reasons why it's considered misfortune is because the 5 is considered the emperor. It is the energy that's very powerful and strong, and it's out of sync. So again, remember going back to that person, space, and time. So it's not timely to have the 5 in the out exterior of the grid. The 5 loves to live in the center palace, what we call the center grid, where the 7 is located in 2020. When it is on the outside, remember, it's like the emperor, it's more like with the peons of the world, and they don't like intermingling with the peons of the world. They're better sitting at the center and commanding the things that they want to say and do. And so when they have to get out with the commoners, then that's where it gets to be a little bit uncomfortable. And what it does, it causes us havoc, not the people that have the 5. So if you have a 5 in your chart, let me show you where you can actually find whether or not you have a 5. And if you do, you're a pretty powerful person. So when you look at your astrology chart, and this person actually is a 5, our lady Amanda here. So this is a 5, and so if you look at the natal chart, look below where the destiny cycle is, or above that dome where we've got some free resources over there. So the number 5, there's going to be numbers 1 through 9. Maybe one time we'll go through all of those numbers and what they mean in other videos, but for today's purposes, I just try to explain that the 5 is a pretty powerful emperor or empress. So you can handle things a little bit more than other people can, and truthfully, you can even handle the 5 a little bit better than the rest of us in the annual energies, but I still would take caution. Okay, so the 5 is about misfortune, and it's big misfortune. It is not little. So you want to keep the East sector as quiet as possible. Don't use that area if you can. As a matter of fact, last year my office was, because the energy was nice for what I was going after, because you have a choice about what you want to go after. You know, just looking at this particular grid, you kind of decide, do you want to have mentors come in your life? Do you want to have leadership? Do you want to be more creative in your sales process and things like that? Are you working on your investments? Are you working on wealth? Well, just go to those particular numbers, then that will help you get what you want. So my office was in the East last year because I wanted to tap into a certain energetics, not this year. So that's why I moved my office. I actually have what I call a Feng Shui desk, because I had a desk that was custom made for me to stand up and sit down. It's on rollers, or on wheels, not rollers, wheels. So I can actually move my desk around. And I don't know if you can tell in this video, but I'm a very petite woman. I'm just a hair over 5 feet tall in the Western measurement. I'm not sure really how tall that is I'll let one of you brain kids out there tell me how tall I am. I'm exactly 5.5 feet. So you can tell me how much that is in centimeters, because I don't really know. Just a Google search away, though, if you're interested. Anyway, I'm tiny, but I can move this desk, and it's a very heavy because of the mechanism of shifting it up and down. It really is a heavy piece of furniture, but I'm able to do it. When do you do it? You do it only at a good day and time. I'll be giving that information out as we start moving closer to the Ox year, which is in February 3rd, 2021. It's coming a day early this year. And so what we want to do is we want to get prepared for that. And this is the reason why I'm doing this series right now. I want you, because this is a tough year, you guys. This is not been a joke at all. If you look at a slide that I had from my annual event, there's going to be big shifts this year. We're going to be wearing face masks this year because of the super viruses. The economy is going to spiral down, as well as real estate, and especially in that commercial sector, because people are going and companies are going out of businesses in droves. I talked about that at my annual event in January, before we knew the severity of how COVID was going to be impacting us. But we know astrology is aligning with the science. We knew that it was coming, and that's why I talked about it, to warn people and get ready for it. As a matter of fact, I knew it was so darn challenging. I was doing months in advance, get ready for the rat. And so this is what I want you to do right now. You're in the rat year, so let's get attuned with it, because you do need to get your body attuned to this energy. You can either choose to get attuned with the negative side of the energy, or you can attune with the positive. I encourage you to start using the positive energies. Now, the energy is constantly moving. That's why we're looking at those monthly energies. The annual and monthly is going to help you achieve your long-term goals. But keep in mind, an action you do today can last a lifetime. So that's why we want to trigger the energy just at that right moment, so it opens up and helps you achieve your goals. All right, let's go back to the annual, and now let's look at the monthly grid. So we're going to talk first about the East sector, and then I'll just do a very quick recap on the whole entire grid for the month of September. Okay, just as a reminder, the month of September, the rooster month, is from September the 7th all the way to October the 7th. So that's a real clear distinction, or differentiation, if you will, between the Western calendar and a Chinese calendar. So the Chinese calendar, starts around the 3rd, 4th of a month, all the way into the 7th or 8th. So there's a little bit of a span on where it starts, and that's all based on a timing formula, which we'll talk about in another video as well, if you're interested in that. If you are, please let me know. All right, so the 8-5 of this particular sector, as you can see from the icons, they are all red in my system here that I'm teaching you. The icons that are red are the challenging ones. It's the stop sign, warning, warning, warning. And then the blue icons are the ones that are going to be more positive, okay? All right, so let's talk about the 8 and 5 for just a second. So this is a combination that really cries out that haste makes waste. So if you're concerned with forcing your will or pushing forward blindsidedly, you are going to fail. This is where we start looking at, another way of looking at it is the yin and yang of the space, right? So this is this area where we're going to want to keep quiet, especially in most of the year, but this is a month where it's even saying even more, we need to take more caution. So you got to watch out for some distractions that's going to further hinder your progress along the way. And then this energy is actually it's a combination that can denote stubbornness. So kind of like kind of like dig your heels in, and you're not willing to be flexible. So that willingness not to budge is going to probably get you in a little bit of trouble. So if you decide that you are going to use this sector, I would expect garbled communications. Your words that you intended are going to be interpreted maybe in the wrong way, and that's going to lead to further separation from others. So this is kind of that great divide is what is happening in the East this year. So this can really derail your best set plans, and it can erode trust and loyalties. So if you use this sector, I would say you're going to have to expect some setbacks in the month that could, remember, energy triggered in any particular time can last a lifetime. When you even think about it, you've walked into, like, I could even tell you, this is a personal story, but when I walked into a room about 13 plus years ago, I met my husband. Well, he had this sparkle in his eye from the very moment, and he continued to pursue me, which happily I'm very happy to say that I married this man, but it took me a long time. But his energy that he sparked that very first moment, it changed both of our lives together and all of the people that are in our lives because of our relationship, right? So that's what I want you to kind of understand. And you could look at this on a negative perspective as well, that let's face it, like if you get into a severe car accident or something like that, and your body gets kind of beat up in the crash, that could change your life instantly for the rest of your life. So just know that you do have some control over what's going to be happening. And unfortunately, if you do trigger the East this year, what you can be expecting are things like financial, relationship, health, emotional, added stress. All of this is going to just be very, very disruptive. Okay? All right. So let's just, let's just look very quickly at the grid that I want you to take into consideration in the month of September. So if I were you, I would spend time in the Southeast, the West, the Northwest, and even the North, because the North we have to be a little bit careful of because of what we call the Grand Duke, because it's where the rat is located. So we do have to watch that a little bit, but this is the pocket of time where you can actually benefit from it. So you can use it a bit. I would definitely go spend some time there. So if you want to know what each individual icons are, just go back and have a quick peek at it with the icons that were available. I tried to match the script with the icons, so do the best you can to kind of figure that out, or just go for the blue. Go for the blue, and then that will get you in a good area. Okay, now let me also talk about, this is the Flying Star Compass of the compass style that, excuse me, I am very happy to let you have. And then there's a Feng Shui dial as well. There's a link below that you can get these. But what I need you to do is I need you to get an accurate floor plan ASAP. What we want you to do, again, is get in tuned with this year. We're at the very beginning of a new cycle. So we get you in tuned with what's the energy that's happening so we can move forward with the metal ox. So now's the time. If you don't have your floor plan, don't wait for the last minute. Why would you wait anyway? I remember when I first got involved with Feng Shui, it was really actually for my own personal life. And I'd been studying Feng Shui, but I wasn't qualified to, certainly to consult. So I actually hired a person, and I just got returned back from living 15 years in Italy, and I moved back to a property we had on the East Coast. But I knew that I was leaving and moving out to the West Coast. Well, I actually didn't know exactly that I was moving to the West Coast when I hired the consultant. But let me tell you how fast things work. I had her come over, and believe me, my face was flat on the ground, you guys, because I wasn't expecting to leave Italy. I thought I was in this, relationship for life. And I had my face I was just flattened. I didn't know what my next move was going to be. I thought I would be in this situation for forever. Everything was, in my mind's eye, was going well. Well, I found out about a certain infraction. I'll just leave it at that. And it wasn't of my value, or I just couldn't live with the consequences of what was happening. So I had to leave. So I came back to the United States, hired a consultant, and I said, I know I'm not even going to stay in this area. And most people would say, well, why would you waste your time and effort? And why don't you get to that next place and then do Feng Shui there? Well, because I wanted to start my life today. I didn't want to start it 3 months from now. I didn't want to start it a year from now. I wanted to start today. There was enough spark left in me to say that, you know what? And this is really the truth of the matter. When I get up, off of my face, back to my knees, and back standing up. I am going to help people who have, in my opinion, who have felt that have been bullied, because that's what happened to me. People that have had, that, really want to move forward and get things done. I was going to help those people. And I'm also going to help people prosper and prosper on their own energetics and their own will. Now, you've got to have something that you want to monetize, but I believe that if you have an expertise, Chinese metaphysics are going to help you hands down, exponentially help you, not just a little bit, exponentially help you. So I've built a business on truly helping people who really have a will to go forward in a really impactful way. So hopefully that speaks a little bit to you on how I even got into it. But basically within it was maximum 10 days, 2 weeks, I called this consultant back up and I said, hey, I have now decided to move. And she said, where are you going? And I said, I have no idea. Come on over. Let's get things moving again. And so that's where we started taking things to the next level. And then through what I was doing, I made the decision to move to California for a lot of reasons that have nothing to do with Feng Shui. Well, I shouldn't say had not the biggest impact of location was Feng Shui. There were other things that I wanted to accomplish while I was here. So I was planning on staying 2 years, and here it is 20 plus years later, and I'm still living in California because the energy does suit my flow. Okay. All right. So that was a little digress, but I think it was important for you to understand why I do what I do. Okay, then let's talk about the next compass dial, which is the annual Feng Shui dial. So this is a dial that's going to start telling you different energetics from the compass, that we're going to be looking at the areas that are green. Those are the ones that are going to be your most vibrant. And it looks like, the one that has been tried and true throughout the entire year so far has been the West sector. It's been very, very, very good from a Feng Shui perspective, from a flying star perspective. And what I'm not even showing you here on YouTube, because we can only, you probably only want to listen to me for so long anyway, there's also the universal gateway, which is called Chimen Dunja. I'm going to talk about that extensively at my annual event in January, but this is, you have a universal gateway to help you manifest, to help you strategize, and the space does too. So there's 3 different layers of the annual energies. There's many more, but those are the 3 annual ones that I focus on to help people make positive change in their life. But the annual Feng Shui dial, what we have to work with this year is the goat. And this is also something called the 4 nobles. So we have the goat, we have which has the dragon virtue. The dragon virtue is about dissolving obstacles. Then we have the West sector, which is fortune virtue. It's about your money, especially long-term assets like real estate, your IP, those kinds of things. That is what that's for. And then the Northeast is about, it has an energy that, yes, will bring money, but it also will help you be noticed, and it will, there's a number of different things that is there, especially for mentor help. If you are looking for a new coach, a new mentor, then you definitely want to be hanging out there. Maybe not so much in the month of September, so we'll see what it looks like in October for you. And then we have a very powerful energy, unfortunately, that is really not masqueraded, what's the word I'm working for here? It's really darkened by having the 5 yellow that is going over this particular sector of the East. And it's the entire sector, but especially that East sector. So what I would suggest for you to do is, at this point, let's just put some metal, heavy metal, like literally, several hundred pounds, depending on, size matters, of course. If you have a huge huge building, then you're going to have to do more. But in my particular building, it's like 3,360 some square feet. So I have several hundred pounds in the east on one floor, and we're on the side of a hill. And then I have another several hundred pounds below in on another level. So I am protecting that side of the house for our entire household and our businesses that we're running. So you want to put metal there. And another place that you could put metal is in the south. Those are the only two, let me repeat, the only two areas. Again, several hundred pounds there or kilos. Again, size matters of how much to, there really isn't, or maybe I can try to figure it out, some sort of ratio to square footage to pounds or kilos in which you need to do. I'll see if I can figure that out for you over the next before my annual event. But what I'm saying is I would err on the side of more than less. It isn't like, this is a metal water bottle. This is not enough, and I use it all the day. I mean, it's something that really is. So a lot of people will ask me, well, that area happens to be in my kitchen and there's metal appliances there. Is that enough? Well, they're already there. So I would add more, because I believe that having more protection for adding what is already existing, you're adjusting it to have more emphasis for you. Okay, so the only two is the east and the south for your metal. Don't worry about the north, but what I do want you to take caution of is anywhere you see red, and that would include the 3 killings over the snake, horse, and goat. I want all of the east sector and the north sector. I want you to be very cautious about activating that energy. And what I mean by activating is digging into the ground. The Feng Shui always starts at the outside. I talked about that at the beginning of this series. The Feng Shui always starts on the outside, so you're going to want to radiate those compass directions out over the entire property, and be very cautious about activating and doing any type of, God forbid, putting a big deck in the north sector or something like that. You don't want to do that this year. You're going to have to wait for a more opportune time. Yes, you can actually, there's something that's called a sun formula where you can actually do, but you really have to work with a very, very qualified date selection specialist to do that. I'm more than happy to help you with that, but please don't mess up your life by digging in the wrong areas. And then again, one action can last a lifetime. Then what you want to do is you want to start really understanding your space. We are going to be in this lockdown for, we're going to go in and out of it, but your space, I would start considering it your sanctuary. You need to start understanding the energetics of it. You understand that what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be moving our body into different areas to absorb this energy so we become more vibrant. It's almost like going to get a booster shot. I'm going to say like a B12 shot. I don't know if you've ever had those or not, but they give you a lot of energy. So this is like going to get your B12 in other areas. And then when you have that higher energetics, you can perform more, you can do more, you can be more. So that's why you want to go where those friendly energies are located. Okay, like I said, if you are interested in getting the compass dials, just go to freecompassdial.com. There'll be the Feng Shui dial, the Flying Star dial, as well as the how to take a compass reading. There'll be some instructions there. And so that's what you're going to want to do. All right. Next piece I want to tell you about is the timing piece. This is a screenshot of the TimeBlazr. And the TimeBlazr is a system that has been around for literally centuries. And it was used for the affluent, it was used for military operations, it was used to help the people in power to have more power. So I have translated all of this collateral into standard business English, so it is easy and accessible to you. And remember, person, space, and time is the holistic system that's going to get the change that you are wanting. So you're going to want to do things, like your big product launches or launching a website, or maybe you're writing a book. You want to launch those on a good day and time to have exponential return on the investment. And I'm not talking just about financial. If you're writing a good book, it's going to take you some time to get that done. So why not do all of the steps, getting it to the editor, getting it to the graphics person, getting it to the person that's going to lay out the book for you, and the publisher, and all of your social media campaigns, etc. You know what? Why do that on crappy days? So what I'm also doing another YouTube series in companion, I'm going to say, of this one. Every Tuesday I do something that's called TimeBlazr Tuesday, and TimeBlazr Tuesday is where you're going to start seeing me look at a week ahead. So it's every Tuesday that will be on YouTube Live, and then I will help you look at the entire week. So this week is already up. You may want to hop on over there and see how you can get that particular information. Now, I also have for you, if you would like, a free trial of the TimeBlazr, and all you have to do is go to free30timetrial.com and then just enter in your information. There is no credit card required at the time of this recording. So now would be the time to go ahead and grab that and really start embodying that the energies of the universe are there to support you. They're there to support your goals. They're there to have you have better relationships, a better career opportunity, better health, and better mindset. So when you start incorporating all of these as part of your business and marketing model, things are going to skyrocket for you. So I'm very excited for you. And then the last thing that I want to tell you today, well, there's a couple things. One, if you are new to my channel, go ahead and like, share, comment, and ring that bell so you can get all of the notices that we're talking about. And then I want to invite you to purchase your the extra early bird ticket now for the Metal Ox annual event. And what you need to do, the time is 11 to 5 Pacific. We are live streaming only this year, and it's January 16th and 17th. You're going to want to go to bit.ly/Metal Ox. So as you can see, the ox has this beautiful ring of diamonds around their neck. So the ox is usually a hard worker, but with a little bit of elegance and eloquence. But let's see how it all plays out. So you're going to want to go ahead and grab those tickets now, because as we get closer to the event, we're going to be raising the prices of that. So that link is below as well, bit.ly/Metal Ox. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do a wrap on the month of September, the rooster month. We'll be back right at the beginning of the dog month. There's lots of great possibilities in the dog month, and we're starting to move and shift into already starting to feel the metal ox. So I can't emphasize enough. Stay tuned for all of my weekly updates and my monthly updates and other videos that I'm going to be doing very soon to help you start transitioning over to that new energy. But like I said, don't forget about the now. I've told you a couple of reasons why now is better than waiting. And, sometimes it's better to, just take that step and start moving in the direction, and then all the things start unfolding for you. So many blessings to you. Thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate you following and watching. Please share this link. Would certainly help out our business here so that we can continue to give you these high-level informative videos. So take care.